Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here today with a big Fallout 4 news update. Recently, Game Informer conducted an interview with Todd Howard at DICE 2016, like a lot of outlets did, and I thought this was going to be another standard interview with some of the rehashing similar information we've seen before, but we actually got a ton of brand new info, so thank you, Game Informer. The link to this article will be in the description if you guys want to check it out, but we're going to be talking about DLC, survival mode, as well as mod release window, so you guys should be really excited about this, even console users, because we even have a release window for that. So without further ado, let's dive into this, starting off with the DLC. So they ask, you announced 3 pieces of DLC recently. What can you tell us about the first wave of content? And mind you, he does talk about Wasteland Workshop and Far Harbor, but he doesn't really offer anything new. But for Automatron, he actually does. So he says the one thing we found about DLC is that we've done all types at all price points and all sizes, and we've come to the realization that it all works. It sells really well. We went into Fallout 4 and decided to do all types at all price points. With this initial run, we want to have a little bit of everything. Then he proceeds to give details on Automatron, saying the first one, Automatron, has a little quest line and this Pokemon-esque kill robots, get their parts, build your own gameplay. The robot building is really deep. It's great. So yeah, a lot of us were wondering how this was going to work. A lot of the achievements leaked, which I'm going to be covering in a future video. But yes, it seems like the quest line is to kill these robots, acquire their parts, and then build your own. So I was always wondering if there was going to be this type of blueprint system, but it seems that we're just going to kill bots, take their parts. So I wonder if bots that are already in the game are going to have their own types of parts, and it's really going to add this new layer to the experience perhaps. But nonetheless, very interesting to see that he actually made the Pokemon comparison, which should intrigue some of us. Furthermore, on the DLC, with all of the new projects in the works, is Fallout 4's DLC created by the internal team that made the core game? And Todd says, yes, we kind of split up the team. We're also expanding, so that helps us. We have the team in Montreal, that helps too. It's the same group. So seeing that is obviously an answer that can take a lot of weight off of fans' shoulders. A lot of us were wondering, is Montreal only working on mobile games? Because Todd Howard did specify in a previous interview that they were working on mobile games and other stuff, and some people were wondering, is that other stuff a secret project that's just a mobile game or something like that? Is it just a mobile gaming studio alone? What is it? Because Fallout Shelter made so much money. It seems we have our answer here, that yes, they are helping out. They seem to be an assist studio more than anything. They could have their own project underway, but it's very exciting to see that that's what they're doing right now, because they are continuously expanding is what it seems to be, because Todd specified saying we're also expanding, as in it's in the process. So perhaps they're adding more to this Montreal team, which is always fantastic, because it seems they're getting a lot out the door, and that kind of explains how they're balancing out all these projects now, because they do have these additional team members. Next, and this one excited me the most out of this entire one, is the survival mode. Andrew asks, you said you were going to be doing a beta test for survival mode. How is that going to unfold? Todd gives the lengthiest answer ever, saying, that's going to be different than what we usually do. Survival mode has a lot of changes that can be pretty dramatic. Once we get it honed where it's working well enough, we're going to put it on Steam beta for a while. Here it is. Start playing, give us feedback. It's far easier to update and iterate on PC. Once we settle on it, then we'll release it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. We want to get it up soon on Steam beta. It's not going to be months and months off. If it's not really working and we need to iterate on it, it may stay in beta for a month depending on what we are changing. But we want to make it have the game feel different. The bits we've done, and me recently playing it, it's absolutely some of the most fun I've had playing Fallout. I mean that honestly. It changes it in a good way for me, but it might not for anyone. So what's he talking about? Well, he follows that up by saying, we're doing things like you can't save. It only saves when you sleep. You can't fast travel. There are all these diseases. We're trying it all. It's a different experience. We're not trying to make it a ton harder. It's harder because you're doing more things. We want the combat to feel different as opposed to just being a bullet sponge. And this is a sign of taking feedback into account and really making a great survival mode. I certainly wanted a mode where you could not save in this survival mode. I really wanted that mechanic involved, and I'm happy to see it's there, where you can only save if you sleep. This could lead to some really intense moments when exploring the world where you might have to run away or skip out out on exploring an area even though you really want to because you need to find that place to sleep, and you could have diseases in the meantime, and then you can't even fast travel. So if you can't fast travel, Fallout 4 will have to implement some type of system similar to the horse and buggy system in Skyrim to allow you to get around the wasteland. That was one issue that some real hardcore players of Fallout 4 had, was that the world felt less immersive because there was no realistic way to get about in the world for your quote common folk. It was just the idea of that, but you could also utilize that yourself. And a lot of people are disappointed with that, so I do wonder if they're going to be adding that into survival, or if there's just going to be you're traveling everywhere on foot. I'd imagine not. That sounds a bit redundant, but anyway, he also says there are all these diseases. One of them he specified was in an earlier interview. In case you guys did not hear, he said insomnia is what his character got, so that's really cool that if you don't get enough sleep, that turns into a quote disease. But also, I think the most important thing to point out here is that he says we want the combat to feel different as opposed to just being a bullet sponge, which I think is a bit humble of Bethesda to admit that they fucked up the combat yet again in Fallout with the bullet sponging, the enemies taking tons and tons of damage. So I'm really happy they're taking this into account. I personally think the normal difficulty bullets are perfectly fine. It's just enough where it's video gamey, but still tough enough to almost get you killed. I think that's a good balance right there. I could be wrong, but I'm really curious what they're going to go with. I hope it's not like the realistic weapon damage mods for Fallout 3 in New Vegas where it was literally one shot and they were dead. I mean, unless it goes back and forth, you know what I'm saying? That would be a cool thing to try in the beta, but I'm glad that they're testing this out first before fully rolling it out. And then lastly, when can we expect to see mods, especially on the console side? And he surprisingly gave an answer. Our goal is between the first two DLCs. It'll go up at that time on PC in April. All of that stuff will go up on PC. People are beta testing it. There will be a lag on consoles. We want to get it up on PC and have it work. It'll probably be a good month before it hits Xbox One and another month for PS4. So, ladies and gentlemen, mods creation kit is coming in April on PC. You Xbox One users out there are going to get it in May, and then PS4 users are going to get it in June, which will really expand the content for us. So now we're getting even more monthly content for Fallout 4, which is super exciting because we have our plates full with stuff to do in this game now, along with this new mode, mods, DLC. I mean, I cannot wait, ladies and gentlemen, and I just want to hear your thoughts on this in the comments down below because this is a huge, unexpected update. I was sitting there during my night class and I'm like, damn it, I need to make a video on this, so I'm recording this before class right now, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below. Other than that, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Links are in the description. Check out SugarBomb.com, the place by Bethesda fans for Bethesda fans. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.